Hi there, Sue Johnson here and Stanley in tow. Let me tell you a story, and remember, not all stories are true. Recently, Stanley and I attended Toronto's largest RV camping show. Perusing RV shows is a relatively new activity for us, but we quickly surmised that unless we were in the market to buy, perhaps pick up an amazing bargain, all the shows seem the same. It's like once you've seen one RV, you've seen them all. They all have very similar layouts, all have a kitchen, a cooking area, bathroom, place to sleep, so potentially visiting a show could be somewhat boring. For me, there were two benefits to attending the Toronto show. First of all, I wanted to try it out, and secondly, I wanted to have some fun with it. I hid in bathrooms and I jumped out at people, surprising them to see their reaction. I lay on a bed and complained that there were too many people coming aboard, interrupting my nap time. I bought lunch and ate at one of the dining tables. I pretended I had just purchased a particular RV, and when someone entered, I said, "Welcome to my home. Can I make you a cup of tea?" One time I sat on a toilet with a magazine in hand, and when people entered and looked in the bathroom, I'd say, "It's just not happening." Sometimes I'd be at one end of the unit and Stan at the other, and I'd say, "Hey, could you turn up the air conditioning? It's getting a little hot in here with all these people." At noon, Stan was due to get his next set of eye drops. Following laser eye surgery, he had to have these drops administered initially every 4 hours. So we chose a camper, one that was not so well attended, lay on the bed, and I administered the drops, 3 sets, 2 minutes apart. For that we had a lot of privacy, but it gave me the idea of having fun and pretending that whatever vehicle we were in, that was our unit. I know all of this was somewhat unethical, but it was fun watching people's reactions. Often when you're touring an RV inside and others are doing the same, we treat one another with an eye of suspicion. We don't speak to one another. We go about our business investigating the doors, the fridge, trying out the TV, laying on a couch. Well, I decided with the latest RV show that my aim was to have fun, and I met my goal. Before attending the show, I had a story going on inside my head. I like stories. When I was a little girl, my aunt said, "Eleanor," that was my mother, "this girl's going to be a writer." She said that because I had so many stories and I like to tell them. Well, I had this funny imagination story going on inside my head before we went to the RV show. I imagined that Stan and I had decided to stay in an RV for the duration of the show, 3 days. Morning, noon, and night. Don't leave, just sleep in there. We would sleep in one unit, make tea, buy food from the food court, and eat it in the RV at night. Maybe even order out pizza and have it delivered. When it was time for the show to close, people were thinking, like, why aren't this couple leaving? So they bring along the RV security. They would come along and they would tell us that, "Look, you have to leave." And we'd say, "No, we're staying. We're trying this out. Come on, it's a show." Security would call in the authorities and say, "Look, we have this odd couple here who refuse to leave the show." The owner of the particular RV we were squatting in would come and talk to us, but we would not leave. No, we're not having it. And then one of the floor persons would say, "Hey, look, since they've been in this RV all day and everyone who views the RV comes out saying they want to buy it, so whatever this couple is telling them inside, we should let them stay because our sales are increasing." And so they let the couple stay. I know, silly story. As seniors, we were trying things out to see if it was a viable option for us to live in full-time in an RV. So stories aside, the practical, realistic aspect of perusing RVs are as follows. You can create or get creative ideas on how to live life. There are storage ideas, how to live in small spaces, items that you can pick up to enhance your camping experience. Now, I didn't attend any of the workshops, and there's a lot of them, but there was a constant revolving roster of persons talking about all the practical aspects of owning an RV, such as insurance and budgeting and how to fix things like the leaky roof or clogged hose. At the end, I'll list several other benefits to attending RV shows, but for now, I want to share how Stanley and I had fun at the most recent show, some of which I've already mentioned. One of our first stops was in a Forester Class C RV, and I was sitting inside the table when a gentleman came in to view the unit, and I said to him, "Welcome to my home, come on in, I'll make you a cup of tea." My comment was spontaneous and didn't go over well with the visitor. He quickly turned around and left the unit. He was by himself. The next time I said that a husband and wife entered a small camping weighing under 1,100 pounds, the camper that is, not the people. It's the kind of unit that can be towed behind an SUV. "Welcome to my home," I said. "Come on in and sit a spell. I'm just making breakfast." Well, they just joined in with the fun, and he pretended to get out a frying pan, she pretended to get a toaster, and then said, "Well, where is the plug for the toaster?" And we found that. So we found all these little things that we would need, like lights, and if you're getting up in the night going to the washroom, where do you go? And so we just sorted it out. This couple came down from Sudbury, Ontario, which is about a 5-hour drive north of Toronto. And they came just for the show. It was so neat. And I liked the way they just entered into the fun. And then we spent probably about an hour sitting in there, the 5 of us, just talking about our RV experiences and investigating this particular camper unit that we're in, why we would want it, what we hope to do. It was a lot of fun. In one unit, they had massaging chairs, so we sat down and took advantage of that. You could turn on a heat and then just use the vibration and relax. Another Class C that we sat in, a Winnebago, a very fancy unit, was about $220,000, way too rich for us. We sat at the kitchen table and we surmised what it would be like to live in such a unit. We talked about what we would store, where we would put things, like the toaster, the crock pot, the electric griddle. We imagined the arguments that might ensue, like, who used all the hot water? Or, you left the tap dripping again? Or, why are we so low on electricity? Why do I have to make the beds all the time? What happens when you go to bed at night? You just drop all your clothes on the floor. I can't walk around the bed. What about laundry? Lots to imagine for sure. My son-in-law said he saw a couple of presenters having lunch. They were munching away on a couple large sandwiches. They were also selling quick flush toilets that never get stuck. So my son-in-law said, "If you can flush those sandwiches down the toilet and it works, I'll buy one." I think he meant the toilet, not the sandwich. Anyway, it was a quick, spontaneous suggestion, and the only flushing the presenters did was to quickly flush their sandwiches through their natural system. Eat, digest, and you can imagine the rest. In another smaller Class C, I stepped into the shower unit to try it out, and someone opened the door. Surprise! One time I opened the closet door and there was a little 4-year-old standing inside. I thought to myself, she's got my game. If you're thinking about visiting an RV camping show, think about the fun that you can have. What would you do? Go ahead and share if you feel like it. You can always, when you go to an RV show, explore your options, because a lot of times people are going because they're looking for deals. You can look for gain expert advice. You can get insights from the industry leaders. Talk to other people who own RVs, what they like, what they don't, what they would do differently. And you can gain a sense of community.